A record 4.3 million workers quit their jobs in August, the Labor Department said yesterday. This is an astronomical amount. It's the most on record, and it represents nearly 3% of the entire workforce in the United States. And where are workers quitting the most? Here's a breakdown of this. They're quitting workers in the restaurant business. So specifically in the restaurant business, 892,000 workers left the restaurants and bars and hotels. They just got out.
Think about that. Restaurant, $2.13 an hour, and you don't have the clientele you used to have because of the COVID, the pandemic. So,
right.
Like, what kind of money are they making?
Right. They're not walking away from $1 million here. It's, you know,
it's like you're lucky, you're working at Subway or something. You're lucky if you're making minimum wage or maybe a little bit better. You're working at McDonald's, you're making a little bit of something.
Well, but think about like the restaurant workers.
People.
Yeah, and think about the restaurant workers that make $2.13 an hour when there's no customers. What are they doing? They have them cleaning. They have them doing all this harder labor for $2.13 an hour.
Yeah,
right.
That's not right. And this will disproportionately affect young people as well. And the worker crisis across Europe is mostly young people have either been outsourced or their jobs just go away, or they're in the retail or hospitality business where there is not business to pay them. So how are these young people supposed to gain experience when their jobs just don't exist? It is not just like people fed up because their job is gross. It's a real fundamental problem of the labor force.
Yeah, and 721,000 people left their retail jobs. Look at this number. 706,000 ditched their jobs in professional business services, so not just retail.
Yeah.
Another 534,000 left healthcare and social assistance. So people, what in the world is going on? People are leaving hospital jobs.
Right.
Well, how many of those hospital jobs are due to the mandate though? Because wasn't there like 74,000 healthcare workers had to leave in New York alone?
Well,
is it that high?
Yeah, it was a ton, and I was going to bring this up, and I'm glad you did, which is, a lot of this coincides. These are August numbers, by the way. So just imagine how bad it's about to get in September, once we get the September numbers, because right around this time, this is when the mandates started hitting. This is when the mandates from the Biden administration started hitting in August. And so you have all these people saying, why would I need to get a vaccine to work at McDonald's? Like, I'm out, buddy. I'm out. I watched a couple of interviews with some different employees. There was 23 employees that have Burger King. Then they all quit on the same day.
Oh my gosh.
And they put up a sign outside that says, we all quit. Sorry, your Burger King is now closed. They put up the sign out, we all quit, and they all went home.
Because of the vaccine mandate, or?
They just know. In fact, one of the workers said, I'm tired of working for someone who just treats us like dog crap. So we quit.
As in the customers or the employer?
The employer.
You would imagine both. Right.
Probably both, yeah.
And she went across town, and she was able to get a job at a call center for more money, better hours.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. This is getting bad, guys. I don't want to sort of be, hitting like a doomsday drum.
But then what do we do to reduce our dependence on foreign imports, right? It's not like, we're learning the lesson. For instance, the Prime Minister of Portugal, Antonio Costa, during the pandemic said, this is pretty sucky. We need to learn to reduce our dependence on foreign imports. Yeah. And that was like, this is what we're going to learn from this. But I don't see that anywhere.
Well, and
we need to reduce. And again, I read this LOL doll story, and I'm like, it's not a tragedy not to get LOL dolls. It's a tragedy to get LOL dolls. Those things have like this little kinetic sand and all this little tiny individual plastic that gets everywhere. They're an abomination, but little girls love them. All kids love LOL dolls.
If we start... Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, but am I really going to buy fewer things for my kids this Christmas? I should. Am I going to do that? Are we going to do that?
I got 37 last year.
Yeah.
Last year there was 38.
I don't know. Is that the main problem here, though?
I think this is like, if let's say that we did stop depending on imports, right? Right. And people had to see the reality of what things actually cost. That's when we would actually see the what inflation is doing. If we had to pay what it would cost to produce things in this country and like pay the premium, we would really see the effects of the inflation. I think more so than imports.
Yeah, I really thought that would happen under the Trump administration, and I actually looked forward to it because he campaigned on the idea that we should not import things cheaply.
Start manufacturing
we should
at home.
make them inside the U.S. And I thought, good, then people should learn to pay the actual price of something
Right.
that's made in their own backyard, and we will reduce our consumption. And that did not happen.
No, well, we started having some manufacturing come back, so Trump actually was successful in some of it, but mostly no, there was not enough of that. And he had other manufacturers that left during his presidency, so that wasn't a win. Even with reducing the tax rate,
Yeah.
right? Even getting that
Right,
tax
but
rate down.
All you're going to do is price things out of people's reach, though. Like for instance, when I was looking at getting T-shirts printed for Overland Geeks, and I wanted to go U.S. because I'm like, I want to get a U.S. manufacturer, so I had it close here, local, and all that. We'd be looking at $75-$80 for a T-shirt, versus $25 that you can get it if it's manufactured overseas.
Yeah.
And so people won't be able to afford to buy those things. So I understand why. Like they're going on Christmas and buying a 4K TV for $100. Versus if you had a U.S. manufacturer that built it, it'd be like $10,000.
I tried to do that. I actually wanted to create a couple of years ago the world's most perfect zip up. Remember this?
Oh, yes, I do.
She was like, "You're doing too much. You don't need to create a
Snuggie?
zip up."
I was like, you are not a fashion expert.
Yeah.
And
I mean, look at me.
Yeah.
What do you? Who
wear
are
a
you to say I'm
Snuggie,
not
man.
a fashion expert? I mean.
I don't know.
So anyway, I tried to create this zip up, right? And I started exploring it, and so to get the initial designs, I had to go to China to do it.
Yeah.
And then I talked to a buddy of mine who runs a pretty large clothing company, and he said, "Look, this is not like I was like, I want to manufacture it in the United States." And he said, "I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to happen." He's like,
Yeah.
this is not, trust me. He's like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to. He's like, I've been doing this for many, many years. I run a very large clothing company. It's not going to happen, Clayton. And I was like, well, then forget it. Forget it.
Yeah.
Let's not do it then.
I wanted to make a product once that, remember the like, it was like the Live Strong bracelet, but you would switch it depending on where you had nursed your baby. It was like a reminder, but also like a pro nursing.
Which breast you had just nursed
Like
last.
which breast you had just nursed on, because you forget. And I wanted to.
They don't have just like stickers, like the dishwasher stickers that you could just put on there.
Slap on there.
No, because breast milk is not magnetic. I'm sorry you didn't know that, but it's not. But yes, I also looked into manufacturing for that. Just those like the Live Strong bracelets that
Yeah.
were like a movement, but also slightly fashionable, and people would know you're pro nursing and pro nursing in public. I thought it was a brilliant idea. But no, I couldn't find anybody to manufacture it here either. So
Yeah, not going to happen. I offered to be the one that would just remember, for you.
that's not reliable.
No, it's not going to be around. Be like left, right. I don't know. So, anyway, this is an absolute disaster. This 4.3 million people that have just left the job force, just resigning, and saying we're done. We're done. We're either going to start our own business. We're tired of being treated poorly by these employers. We're tired of working ridiculous hours, making no money, no benefits, and look, unemployment benefits have been cut and shut down. So they're not even getting unemployment benefits. One question though too is like, why is so we saw the unemployment rate drop last week. It dropped to 4.8% from 5.2%. You might say, hey, that's a good sign. But what it shows is that so many people they don't count people that have dropped out of the labor
Who
force.
are not actively working.
They're not
for a
actively
job.
looking. That's why this number is so low. So this is really bad for the economy, but it's very bad for President Biden. It's bad for Democrats. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. You can also become a channel member by going to morninginvest.com/join, where you can stick it to the mainstream media and support independent journalism. We're able to bring you the stories that you won't see on any of the major billionaire-backed networks. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time, everyone.